It's 5 o'clock on a Wednesday, and it's time for
The Craig and Ryland Magic Review Show.
I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
Welcome back to another review show right here on
Magic TV.
And first of all, on behalf of Ryland, thank you once again for joining us right here on Magic TV. 4 new tricks, aren't there? 4 brand new tricks. We're going to be performing all of them. And some of them are good, some of them are not so good. We'll get to that in a bit. But we're going to start off with 2 people who you tend to think of quality when you think of them. Dan Harlan, the legend himself, Dan Harlan, and Penguin Magic P3 are back with an updated version of a classic. We're going to look at that first. So without further ado, let's get into this week's review show.
First up, we have Ritual by Dan Harlan and P3.
P3, Penguin Magic. I'm going to be there in a couple of weeks' time. I'm heading over to Columbus, hanging out with them again. Dan Harlan, Ritual, Penguin Magic. This is an updated version of Grandmother's Necklace, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, Dan apparently brought this out years ago. Penguin have just re-released it. They've kind of redone the props, done a brand new tutorial, full live performances, everything that you would expect from Penguin Magic. We reviewed on this show a few weeks ago Grandmother's Necklace by TCC.
Yeah.
And you said it was one of the best tricks of the year. And since then, you've done that trick how many times? Tons of times. Loads of games. Every close-up job that you do that trick. So this, I remember when I said to you, this is a version of Grandmother's Necklace. You were like, wow, it's going to have to be good to beat TCC. So there's pros and cons. Now, you filmed this for Instagram a little while ago, didn't you?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, first of all, is show you the Instagram footage. This is Ryland's kind of video that he did for Instagram. It shows you exactly what Ritual is. So we're going to do that, first of all, show you that performance, and then after that, we'll talk about the pros and the cons.
Okay, so I'm here with my sister Thea.
Hi.
And I've got a necklace with some beads on, so I'm just going to take it off.
Do you need some help?
No. There. Like that. Got it. Right. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to put your thumb around there, like that. Just your thumb. And then you're going to grab that there, yeah. Now, you can see these beads are on.
Yeah.
Now, these beads, you can't get them off any other way. You can't go up like that. Or it can't go through the middle down here. Okay? So it can't go anywhere, yeah? Now, what I'm going to get you to do is grab your other hand with your finger and put it through there, like that, and just stay like that. Now, Thea, what you're going to do is you're going to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and exhale and let go with that. Let go. Like that, yeah. And now watch. You can take the beads off like that.
What? Isn't there?
What?
So that was a really good performance, Rye. Okay, you're the one that learnt this. You're the one that watched the tutorial. I kind of skimmed the tutorial, but you watched it. First of all, I want to ask you some questions. They're obviously going to draw parallels to this and Grandmother's Necklace. It's similar, but it's kind of a different method as well, isn't it? Do you want to go through that?
So the guy says it's the original Grandma's Necklace is basically like a puzzle, and he didn't want it to be like a puzzle. He wanted it to be like a magic trick, and he's actually made it so it is actually a necklace.
Yeah, I mean, that's the nice thing. That's the best thing about this. It's like, it becomes kind of like an EDC, doesn't it? Because it's like wearable. You can actually put this on your neck. You can have the beads on your neck. And as long as you're a hippie, you know, this looks like an everyday carry that you just carry around with you.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's as good as the TCC version.
No.
Why do you not think it's as good?
I just think the TCC version is more visual.
Miserable.
No, visible.
Visual. Yeah, because if you've seen the TCC version, they have see-through beads, don't they? Like they're actually see-through. And they have those cords, and because of how it's made, you see the magician.
You don't need to set it up at all. You set it up in the performance.
Yeah, that's the important thing, actually. Good point. Because with this, there's a setup that you have to do beforehand.
You don't want to do it in front of anyone.
Yeah, you can't do it in front of anyone. You have to have this set up and then hanging around your neck so that when you come and do the trick, you take it off your neck and you go into the routine. You can't With TCC's version, you can hand the cords out to be examined. You can hand the beads out to be examined. Then you thread the beads onto the cord because they're see-through. They see the cord going through the beads, and then you put it in their hands. You pull and it penetrates through.
Yeah.
With this, it's set up beforehand, so you can't have the cords examined at the beginning, and you can't have the beads examined at the beginning, can you?
No.
No, because they're on there.
They're
You can't
already
take
on
them
there.
off and have that. Yeah, you can't take them off or anything. So they're hanging around. So the advantage here is it's a wearable trick. It's a trick that you kind of can wear. The disadvantage is it
not
has to
as
be
good.
set up.
Yeah.
And also, because it has to be set up, there's a reset to this, isn't there?
Yeah.
How long does it take to set up? Like if you couldn't just do this trick and then put the beads back on the cord and put it back around your neck. You just couldn't do that because these beads, without giving too much away, they can't actually go on the cord.
No, he said
So you could-
it wouldn't actually fit on the cord.
Yeah. So because of the clasp.
Cord, like the thing's too big to
Yeah.
actually go.
So in other words, you couldn't just at the end of this trick take the beads, slide them back on here, and throw it around your neck again. You have to take another gimmick.
Really long setup. Well,
Yeah.
it's not really long. I'd say it's about a minute.
But you can't do it in front of the audience. You have to get another little gimmick that you have with it that allows you to set this up in advance. Whilst with the TCC version, when they're done, you just take everything, throw it in your pocket, and you reset ready to go to the next table or the next group of people that you want to perform for.
Yeah.
It's examinable though. Once you've finished, they can examine this, can't they?
Yeah,
The
but
TC
you can examine the other one. So
Yeah, you
before
can. I
and
mean,
after. With this you can't examine it before, but with the TCC you can examine it before and after.
the big issue for me is when I watched Dan Harlan do this on the trailer, and when I watched the live performance on the tutorial, the way that he does it, he has them holding it like this. That's how you did it to me. He has them like holding it like this. So they're holding this bit here, they're holding this bit here. And then you say, right, okay, take a deep breath out and then let go. And then he pulls the things off. That kind of looks like you're just sliding the beads off the necklace to me.
Yeah.
Like when you think about the TCC version, they're on the
They're
cord
holding them.
and they're holding
you wrapped
this.
it around their hand and then it's off.
You pull and it penetrates their hand and it penetrates the cord. Whilst with this, you're holding it like this and then you pull them off this way. And it kind of looks, I think that, I haven't performed this, I'm not planning on performing this, but I think that spectators would think that you're sliding it off.
Yeah, they would think you're just sliding it off, which you literally just are. You are just sliding it off.
So what they think is happening is what's actually happening. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, and I do like Dan's presentation. He talks about releasing negativity from your life, and obviously that's a presentation that wouldn't work for you, but I could see it working for some people. Yeah, you know what? I love Penguin Magic. I really do love a bit of Penguin Magic, and I love Dan Harlan even more.
This.
I think that there's too many negatives compared to... If TCC's version hadn't came out, maybe this would be a different ballpark. But you have to compare it to TCC's version. The one advantage this has got is it does not look like a magic prop. It looks like something you would wear around your neck. Compared to the velvet cords and the see-through beads, this does not look like a magic prop. The TCC one looks like a magic prop. So if you're maybe an amateur or you're wanting to have something that you don't take out with you and be able to do anytime, anywhere, this is a great one to go for. But the problem is, there's negative. It doesn't look as visual. It's not as magical. It can't be examined at the beginning. There's a reset. So if you're doing it as a gig, it's going to take a while for you to reset it. The tutorial's great because obviously it's Dan Harlan. He explains everything very clearly. There's multiple live performances. I fully believe that Dan kills with this. But for me, I prefer TCC's version. And I said to you, you came in and showed it me, and I said, are you going to do... Because Ryland is obsessed with wearing magic tricks. Like, he is. He's got, like, rings, and he's got, like, multiple different pendants that he wears.
I came down this morning with, like, 5 different pendants.
He did. And the thing is, he's the easiest person in the world to sell something like this on, because all he's got to do is see something that he can put around his neck and immediately he's like, oh my gosh, that's going into my everyday carry. So when Rye says, no, I'm actually not going to do this, is it because the other one is so much better?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you going to give it then? I'm going to give it, look, it's not terrible.
It's not.
It's not terrible. It's just not for me. It's not for him.
I would say I think it probably give it 70%.
I'm giving it 60%. I think it could be a lot better, but I still think it... Look, if you saw what Ryland did, or you watched the trailer and you like the look of the trick, get it, by all means. I just think it looks a bit obvious the way that the trick's structured. I don't think it looks as good, which is why I'm only giving it 60%, and I'd recommend getting TCC's version instead. But it's not the worst trick in the world.
It's not.
70% from Ryland, 60% from me. Let's move on. Okay, so next up we have Sequence by the 1914 and Rich Relish. Now, you don't know Rich Relish, do you?
No.
Rich.
Wait, I think I do.
He's from Wales. Rich, in my opinion, is one of the best mentalists in the world today. I think Rich is absolutely amazing. Yeah, his creativity knows no bounds. He's very good. And this is the new trick by the 1914. This is very much an everyday carry. It's a mentalism style trick. Rich describes it as an opening routine for mentalists that allows you to do like a 3-phase routine that will then lead into other mentalism routines. Now, it's an EDC because you only need 3 cards with you. As long as you've got those 3 cards, you're ready to go. So you can pop it into your wallet and you're good to go. We're not going to say any more about it yet. We're going to have a look at a performance. Ryland's going to perform this on me so you can see exactly what it looks like. And then after the performance, we'll talk about what we think.
Okay, so I've got these ESP cards here, and they're just full of ESP symbols, yeah?
ESP symbols?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So basically, we've got 5 ESP symbols, and then there's a line, and there's another ESP symbol. Yeah?
Why?
So you can see that on there. Because that's the one that most people think of. So you're going to read me. So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to look away. You're going to read me any one of the sequences, and then I've got to try to figure out what the line is on that side, or what the symbol is on that side.
Okay. Can I look at any one of them, or?
So basically what you've got to do is you've got to find the one that's your age range.
Okay.
Right.
My age range.
Yeah. You see there's numbers at the top.
It's definitely not 65 plus. Okay, I've got it. Right. Okay. So I pick any one of these sequences.
Yeah.
They're all random. Okay.
Yeah. When I snap my fingers, you're going to name the one.
Square.
And you're going to do it order, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
In order, yeah. Right.
Star. Wavy lines. Wavy lines. Wavy lines.
So when you're thinking of wavy lines?
Yes, it was wavy lines.
Yes,
yeah.
it was wavy lines. Now,
that could be memory work.
Yeah, it could be memory work. But what you're gonna do now, in case you think it's memory work, what you're gonna do is you're gonna look at the one on your age range again. Yeah. Okay. And you're gonna name. You're gonna do it, but you can do it in any order you want.
I can read the symbols out in any order I want.
Yeah. So find one line and read the symbols out however you want.
Okay.
So if it was like, let's say it was square, square, cross, wavy line, you could do like square, cross, wavy line.
I've got it. Yeah.
Line, square.
Okay. Any order. Right. Star. Circle. Circle. Cross. Cross.
Is the one you were thinking of circle?
Yes, it is. Yes, it was
now
a circle.
What you can do is you can look at any card and read them out in any order.
Any one of these? Any side?
Any card, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
You can still do the one in your age range if you want.
I got one.
Go on, there. Ready?
Yeah.
Look at one, say it out in any order you want, or keep it in the same one, I don't really mind.
Star. Star. Wavy lines. Circle. Circle.
Is that it?
Yeah.
The one you were thinking of. Is it a star?
Yes, it is.
There you go.
That's
really
great.
cool, right?
That's really cool.
Really
So that was Sequence, right? And I'll be honest with you, Matt showed me this as well. Because
really?
Rich sent one of these to Matt. And he actually did a Craig test on me. And I didn't tell you this. And so I've seen Matt perform it. Before you performed it to me, I've seen Matt perform it. Matt absolutely loved this. And I had some reservations, but generally I was quite positive about it. What about you? What do you think?
I think it's really, 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 really good.
You really like it?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about, can I have the cards for a minute? Let's talk about pros and cons. So first of all, it's very easy to learn. You can learn it and you can do it very, very easily. There's no sleight of hand or anything like that. There is some mental arithmetic. There's some mental juggling. We don't want to talk about what the method is, but you have to...
easy.
Well, that Matt found it quite difficult, but he's not as good at maths as you. How did you find it? Easy. What Matt was doing when he performed it to me is he was telling people to just read the sequence out. And so when I did it to Matt, I was going like square, 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 circle, wavy lines. What I liked about what you did is you were like, every time I snap my fingers, give me the symbol, which makes it a little bit easier, doesn't it?
The circle plus.
Yeah, well, don't
star.
tell them how it's done or anything like that. But in terms of what you have, you just have these 3 cards, and it's a completely different outcome every single time. So you just put these in your wallet, you bring them out, you're good to go. It's got an interesting hook because everybody knows what ESP symbols are. My reservation with it, and I want to know what you think. This is my one reservation with it. I don't know if this is the best use of this is as an opening routine. Because if you think about...
I think it's nice.
Well, yeah, but...
For an opening routine.
Really? Because here's the thing. When you're performing magic, right?
Yeah.
One of the most important things is to grab people's attention, correct or wrong?
Correct.
I think that if you do this as an opening
I think
routine...
this would grab people's attention. And
You do?
if you're a mentalism person, then 100% yes.
Okay. I personally think I do something more direct first, where it's kind of more of a direct thing, like boom, you're thinking of this, and then go into this as a second routine. Just because I think there's a lot of procedure to this. It's like, right, okay, find your card, now read the sequence out, now read it out. Do you know what I mean? But maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a mentalist by any stretch of the imagination. Neither are you. But, which brings the question. I know you said you're definitely going to do this. You're not a mentalist, but you're going to do it. How come?
Because I think it's really cool, and I think it would. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I think it would. I don't know how to explain it.
You think it would what? Impress people?
Yeah.
Does it fit your style?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
Or is it that you like doing it because you like maths and there's an element of maths to it as well?
Both.
Right, okay, both. I mean, it is very impossible when they, they read the sequence out and immediately, and you saw how fast Ryland was. Like, as soon as you've read those 5 symbols out, you immediately know the symbol that that's at the end. So, it builds the first phase. I think that a lot of people are going to think there's memory work. So then you go into the second phase where they read them out in any order, and that's going to start to get even more confusing. And then the third one where they read any one of them out off any side in any order, that's really mind-blowing. What I think I would do, though, is I would have some sort of 5-way out at the end, and I'd put an envelope down on the table, and I'd say, hey, that's going to be my big finish. I'm going to show you something, and the last time I do this, I'm telling you right now, I'll prove that I knew what you were going to be thinking of. And then what I'd do is I'd do the exact same routine that you did. And the final time, let's say they get the star the final time, you go, there you go, boom, got the star, and you get your applause, and you go, of course, I did say at the beginning, I was going to predict what would happen the final time. And I'd take the envelope, and I'd open up the envelope, and inside it'll say, you will pick the star. I think that would give it a nice finale.
Yeah.
Almost like you've predicted that final thing. And I like bringing it back to that at the beginning. So you put that down at the very beginning, that's there, you do your thing, and then you come back to that at the end. I think that'd be a really fun way of doing it. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, there's a lot to like about this. It's a completely different outcome every time. You can do a longer routine or a shorter routine. The tutorial's really good. Everything is explained very, very clearly. It's easy enough to do. Packs small, plays big, just goes inside your wallet and you're good to go anytime. And it's one of those tricks, I think you'll always remember the method for this. Like sometimes you learn tricks and then you kind of don't do it for a while and you go back to it and you go, yeah, how's this one work? I can't remember. I think with this, even if you didn't do it for a while and you saw it in your wallet,
like, oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, you'd immediately be able to do it again, which I think is really important with magic.
Yeah.
Because you don't always do everything forever. So yeah, I like this. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not. I know I'm not going to do it. It's not my style. It's not the sort of trick that I know I could pull off. I could see you doing this. I think this would be quite impressive for a kid to do. I could see you pulling this off quite well, to be honest, even though you don't do mentalism. I don't do it. I'm going to give this 79%. It's the highest mark I can give something if I'm not going to do it.
I'm going to give it 100%.
100%? You like it that much?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm
I
surprised.
think it's really, really good.
Is it going in your wallet?
Yeah.
Going in your wallet. And by the way, the other thing I should mention, this is not playing card stock. This is like some sort of plastic card. So if you spilled water on it, it's going to you're going to be able to wipe it off, and it's not going to rip or anything. This is going to last a long time, which is another nice idea. You know so it's going to last a long time. They're really well made. 100% from Ryland. He loves it. 79% from me. I like it. I'm not. You're so irritating.
I think the only way to wreck it is if you fold it.
Well, don't
Which
fold
I'm
it.
not going to do.
79% from me. I like it, but I'm not just going to do it. But it's a great release from the 1914 and another incredible release from Relish. So there you go. That sequence. We're going to move on now with trick number 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so trick number 3, we have an ACAAN. This trick is actually called ACAAN, and it's by Syouma Magic. It's an ACAAN, by Syouma Magic. And I'm not going to say everybody who's watching this knows that I love ACAANs. Like, they're one of my favourite tricks. Everybody also knows that Ryland hates ACAANs. Although you like the Quantum deck.
Yeah.
Well, the Quantum deck.
Yeah. The quantum deck is your only good trick.
It's my only good trick. Shut up.
Apart from your other one that's coming out with ACAAN. The travel one thingy.
Yeah, well, by the time they watch
That's
this video, it will have come out.
Oh, so the training one.
Yeah, the train one. Ticket to Ride. You like Ticket to Ride, don't you?
Ticket to Ride.
He's been using that in his everyday carry now for about a month. Anyway, by the by, let's... I'm not going to say anything about this. I'm just going to perform it to Ryland, and then we'll talk about what we think. This is ACAAN by Syouma. Okay, right, so I'm going to show you a trick. You've probably never heard of this before. It's quite a unique plot. It's called ACAAN. Long, boring card trick, I know. But I'm going to show you something pretty cool. Okay, so I've got a blank card.
Yeah.
I've got a Sharpie marker, and I've got 2 packs of cards. The blue deck's going to become important a little bit later on. It's the red deck that's the most important right now, because I'm going to show you a miracle. Are you ready for a miracle?
Yeah.
I'm going to take 1 card and 1 card only. I'm going to put it right there on the table. When I snap my fingers, you're going to name any card in the deck, any one at all, and I guarantee you it's going to be on there.
Okay.
Okay, watch. 3, 2, 1.
3 spades.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You're not going to believe this. If the 3 of spades was there, would that be good?
Yeah, I think I know what's going to happen.
Well, it is the 3 of spades. I mean, it's every other
I
card
knew
as
that.
well. Yeah, it's every other card. It's not just the 3 of spades. It's all of them. Which you're probably not very impressed with. But I'm going to go, I'm going to try and make it slightly more impressive. Are you sure you want the 3 of spades? Because whatever card you want, I'm going to take out of this deck. And if you want the 3 of spades, that's fine. But if you want to change it for a different one, that's also okay. You made the 3 of spades vanish. There we go. Are you sure you want the 3 of spades? I can switch it out at this point if you want me to.
I'm alright.
Okay, cool. So we've got the 3 of spades. Now there's 52 cards in the deck. You're going to give me a number from 1 to 52. And whatever number you give me, I'm going to write here.
37.
37. Are you sure?
Yes.
37. By me writing that down, that's locked that number in. So I want you to see right here that you've got the 3 of spades and you've got 37. Is that fair?
Yeah.
And it could have been anything, right?
Yeah.
Here's what's weird. I'm going to show you what's kind of really strange about this. This deck of cards has been here from the very, very beginning. Yeah? And I want you to see that all the cards are there. More importantly, they're all different. I want you to see they're in like no particular order or anything like that. Just a deck of 52 playing cards, right? And you said 37 and you said the 3 of spades. I'm going to deal to the 37th card. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. Now, if you'd said 38, it would have been the Jack of Hearts. If you'd said 36, it would have been the Queen of Hearts. But you said 37. And the 37th card is indeed the 3 of Spades. Okay, words cannot describe how much I hate this trick. Like, I absolutely hate it with a passion. And there's a few reasons I hate it.
Words can't describe what I hate.
First of all, you know, people that say that ACAAN is not a plot that interests lay people are wrong. How many times have you seen me do quantum deck?
ACAANs are really good, but when they're this bad.
Yeah. So here's the problem with it. So first of all, yeah.
If you saw this and you thought this is the plot of an ACAAN, then you'd think, yes, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But if you saw other ACAANs, like Quantum and Quantum 2 and everything, and everything else, then you would think, yeah, they do interest people. But if this is the only ACAAN you see and you're like, everything else is like this, then you're going to think ACAANs are really bad.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like if this is the first ACAAN you're ever going to see, it's like, no.
Yeah.
ACAANs are crap.
Yeah, I agree with you there, dude. So let me talk specifically about why I don't like it. I haven't talked to you about this, so let's see if our ideas mesh. First of all, there's 2 decks of cards. Now, I've got no problem with 2 decks of cards used in an ACAAN.
I've performed tricks with 2 decks.
You've got to, exactly. But if you're using 2 decks of cards with an ACAAN, I think there has to have a reason for having the second deck.
Some ACAANs do, like.
Well,
like some ACAANs do, and like so you're gonna pick a card out of this.
Can I give you an idea? Can I give you an example? My ACAAN with the boombox that went on the boombox tutorial, where I've got a deck of cards and each one of them has got a number written on the face. That's obviously a deck of cards that has been marked up specifically to do something.
Yeah,
so it makes sense.
And then they just name a card, and then they pick one from there, and then it's there.
Yeah. So with that
like,
one,
with 2
I
decks
can
of
put
cards, that would make sense.
I can put a deck of cards down on the table, and I can say I've got a prediction in there. I can use the other deck, and I can say this is a special deck because I've actually written numbers on the face of every card. Shuffle the cards for me, give them a really good mix-up, shuffle them up, take a card out. One's going to represent the value, one's going to represent the suit. Sorry, one's going to represent the card, one's going to represent the number. It's up to you which one where. That makes sense of a second deck. For this, there's no reason to have 2 decks. You have to bring 2 decks of cards out from a method point of view. But from an effect point of view, why have you got 2 decks? Because you have somebody, you've got the 52 to 1 gag here with this deck. Fine, whatever. It's a classic gag. But then they name a card, and all you're using this deck for is to bring it out. Then they name a number, and you write that down on a blank card. Why are you not just writing the card and the number on the blank card and just using 1 deck? It makes no sense to use 2 decks. Now, you're using 2 decks from a method point of view, but from an effect point of view, there's no reason and there's no justification. The tutorial was terrible. It was like a 12-minute tutorial, no live performance. I don't even know what the guy looks like. It's just a close-up of a deck of cards and didn't go through the justification of anything. But 2 decks of cards makes no sense at all. The second problem is, and this is what I hate about ACAANs, when I feel like an ACAAN is done badly, when you've eventually got to the point that you've got the card and you've got the number named, you take the cards out of this deck that was over here from the beginning, and you spread through this deck and you say, look, all of these cards are here, and then you openly cut the deck. And there's no way to hide that. It doesn't tell you to do a pass. Yeah, it doesn't tell you to do anything.
If you're a layperson, why would you just go? Yeah, so you can see all the cards are here.
Yeah.
Cut.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as they see the cut or the displacement, they know that you've displaced the cards. Yeah.
You're putting it into its place or something.
For me, the most important part of an ACAAN is the deck's put down on the table, a card and a number are generated somehow, and then you take the cards and you deal down to that position. And when you deal down to that position, the card is at that position with no manipulation of the cards in any way, shape or form. With this, you've got that manipulation right there. You see them cutting the deck. Again, going back to my boombox example, with the boombox, 1 deck of cards is put down on the table to one side. You use this deck to have a card and a number named. You then go back to this deck and you have somebody open up the deck, take the cards themselves and deal down to that position. There's no manipulation of the cards. And I think that the fact that they've cut it, and again, there's no justification. They just say, hey, spread through the deck and then cut the deck.
Yeah.
But that gives away the method as far as I'm concerned. Now, you had an issue with this as well, didn't you, Rory? So you were saying something about the blue deck.
Yeah. So basically, the blue deck, you can tell it's in like a stack because it's like ace, king, 2, queen, 3. Like let's say it's the 8 spades and hearts. I think it was. It was like it went down in like ace of spades, king of hearts, 2 of spades, queen of hearts, 3 of spades.
It's really obvious.
Jack of hearts. Yeah.
And you could get away with that with dealing. Well, you could get away without that happening.
Yeah, but
by dealing the cards. By dealing the cards face down. But then the reset's going to be a nightmare because the entire deck's in stack.
Yeah.
So if you deal it face down, what's going to happen is you're then going to have to reverse count all of those cards to reset the trick.
Yeah.
And even then, the method involves you spreading the cards out at the beginning and showing that all of the cards are different in order to do that cut. And so you're drawing attention to the faces of the cards as you're spreading through them and showing, and just by spreading through, you can see that they're all in a they're all in a stacked order.
Yeah.
And then the other problem that I have with it is the peak. Because obviously you've got this deck, which doesn't even need to be in play, but they name a card and you have to take that card out of that deck and put it down. And then you have them name a number and you write it on a thing. And then you've got to come up here and say, right, that's the card you want.
Yeah.
Now, what you're actually doing is you're getting some information off this card, off the back of the card. But there's a lot of information on there. And you've got to, with one quick glimpse, get the information that you need from a lot of information. If you've got bad eyes like I have, this is not an easy thing to do. You're going to have to look, and it looks obvious. I think if anybody was looking...
If you're just looking at the person, it would be like the person performing would be like...
Yeah. It just looks obvious. And also, like I said, there's no reason for taking that card out. There's no reason for this deck.
There's no reason for cutting it.
The purpose for this deck is literally to take a card out. Well, why couldn't you just use this one deck and just write the card and write the number down on the blank card and just have this deck in display the whole time?
Yeah.
The whole thing is flawed. Like, I cannot tell you how much I hate this trick. Words cannot describe how much I hate this trick. This is one of the worst... It's not the worst, that's the perfidious any card at any number, but it's one of the worst any card at any numbers I've ever seen. It's never been done in the real world, because if you ever perform this in the real world, you would realise just how flawed this is. Anybody that has any experience in knowledge of magic, they don't even have to be a creator, anybody who's even performed magic will realise just how flawed this trick is. And the fact that this company is charging for a trick that's truly terrible, and a special gimmick deck that's just diabolical. I just don't understand. It's daylight robbery. This trick offends me. I find this offensive. It is literally a diabolical travesty of rubbishness. Like, I can't say how bad it is.
It's really bad.
I really...
Words cannot describe how bad it is.
Words cannot describe how terrible this is.
Terrible this is, yeah.
What are you gonna do? There's no live performance.
No.
And the reason there's no live...
No one would take this into the real world.
Nobody would take this into the real world, you're right, yeah. Nobody would do this. The reason there's no live performance is because...
No one's
done this, because if they did it, they'd realise just how naff it is. I tell you what, company that made this, prove me wrong. Post a full live performance of somebody doing this in the real world. I've got nothing else to say. Right, this is getting a minus 1,000% from me. This is truly terrible. It is a waste of money, and anybody who buys this will go straight into your bottom drawer and stay there for a long time. Minus 1,000%. What about you?
Well, those are words, and you said words can't describe this, so I'm gonna give this minus blah 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 blah.
Minus blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I gotta say, is your mission on this show to make Michael's job as hard as possible?
Yeah.
You're doing... Okay, so minus blah blah blah, because words cannot describe how bad it is from Ryland. But apparently words can describe minus, so that's good. And I'm giving it minus 1,000. This is just... you know what I think about this? That's what I think about this. Please, 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 if you're creating magic, try not to create something that is such a giant steaming pile of poo. So one final trick that we've got today, and this is Scratch by Kaan, Akdogan. Akdogan. Kaan Akdogan, but this is actually by Mark Mason's JB Magic.
Yeah.
Big fan of anything that Mark does. And this is, in essence, a card revelation.
Yeah.
It is a way to have somebody pick a card and reveal exactly what that card is. Now, you did this on Instagram a little while ago, and you put it up on Instagram as soon as you got it. Got a fantastic reaction from your followers on Instagram. So we're going to play that Instagram footage so you can see exactly what this looks like. And then once you've seen that, we're going to bring it back into the studio and give it a full review.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got my dad behind the camera. Dad, just say stop.
Stop.
There, that's your card.
Got it.
Remember it, don't forget it. I'll put it in the middle of the pack so I don't know. Now, if I don't find your card, you're going to win £50,000.
I'm going to win £50,000.
You ready?
Yeah.
Right, your card is now at the bottom of the deck.
No, mate, that's the 2 of hearts. That wasn't my card.
Well, I guess you win the lottery ticket.
Hang on, what's that? A lottery ticket?
Yeah, for 50,000.
I thought you were going to actually give me 50,000.
Oh, well, you don't look impressed.
I'm not impressed. What?
So that's now the 6. No, the king of clubs.
So, okay, so first of all, it's a really cool change. When that lottery ticket, that scratch card, changes into a playing card, it looks really good. Now, the tutorial is only about 12 minutes long, but to be honest, that's all it needs to be. There's no live performance, but there is a studio performance done by Mark to somebody in the studio. So you can at least you can see it being performed to somebody. Now, in terms of what it's like, I mean, it's a really great way of finding a selected playing card.
Yeah.
Now, what you didn't see on Instagram is obviously you get the gimmick. Now, the gimmick is designed to turn a scratch card into a playing card, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, it's the same playing card every time. Bear that in mind if you're working restaurants. You're going to have that same card change over and over again. So if you're planning on doing up multiple tables, you need to bear that in mind. But the gimmick allows you to take a scratch card, turn it into a playing card very, very easily. Like, you watch this and then you practiced it and you could do it almost straight away. It's not a difficult thing to do. Gravity pretty much does all the work for you.
Yeah.
But what you didn't see on Ryland's Instagram videos, you also get another couple of gimmicks as well, which allow you to actually have that card examined at the end. Because when Ryland was showing it on camera at the end of the performance, although he can flick it up in the air and you can show it very, very cleanly, you couldn't hand that out to be examined. But the way, with the extra gimmicks that you get, you can do the change, show the card.
I had the gimmicks in the deck, I just didn't actually use them.
You just didn't actually use them. You can do the change and then give them the card back, and instantly it's now examinable. Now, there's only 2 gimmicked cards in the deck, which means at the end you can very easily take those 2 gimmick cards out, put them into your pocket, and you're left with a regular deck that you can use for anything else. The reset is pretty much instantaneous. You just need to put 1 card into position, 2 cards into position in the deck, and put the lottery ticket back in your pocket, and you reset ready to go again. There's only one negative, I think, with this, or at least I perceive one negative. The actual lottery ticket, when you bring it out, it's probably almost twice the size of a playing card.
Yeah.
It's too big to just...
Well, it's just under 2.
Yeah, it's too big
To just fit in your pocket.
to just fit in your pocket.
So and then when you, so it's in your pocket when you put
But
it
you
out,
need
so
it open in order to do the trick.
It's having like your top pocket.
You could put it in your top
But
pocket
then
if
it
you're
would
wearing...
fold over. And
It might do, yeah. And you could put it in a wallet. If your wallet was big enough, you could put it in your wallet, open, and I think that would be okay.
that would need a big...
You'd need a fairly big wallet. But that's the only negative. I mean, Mark just says in the tutorial, hey, you open up the gimmick and then you take this this scratch card and you put it anywhere you want to. But it's not a case of putting it anywhere you want to, because if you put it in your pocket, open, yes, it would probably go into a jeans pocket, open, but then it would get crushed. If you left it open in your pocket as you're walking around, it'd get crushed. You could maybe, if you're wearing a jacket, put it in your jacket, inside jacket pocket. That might work. But again, I'd worry about leaving the open gimmick inside a jacket pocket.
Yeah, because again, it might fold over. You could wreck it.
So you'd have to seriously think about where to actually put this. That's the only concern I've got with it. Everything else, I think it's great. You know, I think that one of the best things that you can do when you're performing real world magic to people is have a card change. A card change, especially if you're changing something else into a playing card, especially if it's as visual as this. So this is really easy, really visual. It's the sort of thing that's perfect for social media, which is where you used it for. Yeah. But it's also something that would work in the real world if you could figure out where to put it. Like a lot of the time...
I said it was a lottery ticket, but I think you would say it's more of a scratch card.
Yeah, scratch card, yeah. A lot of the time when you're doing close-up, you're doing like a bunko booth type thing. So you've got like a close-up table with you, and you've got that little drawer that you pull out. In that environment, that wouldn't be a problem, because you could just have it open. You could have it open. Sorry, I just went complete. I thought the phone was ringing there for a second. You could have it open inside the table, and you can just take it out the table and say, hey, I've got a scratch card here, and then go into the change. So the one thing that you need to consider is where you're going to put this thing, because when it's open, it is quite big, and you wouldn't want it to close inside a pocket. You'd need to think about that. I think you can probably put it in a wallet and keep it open in a wallet in a pocket, but it might poke out from the ends depending on the size of the wallet that you're using. Your wallet of choice is a Comet. And I know in a Comet it'd probably stick out. In an Orphic, I think it'd be okay, but in a Comet it might stick out. But in terms of the actual thing, I think it's really good. Here's a question. You don't do card tricks. This is a card trick, but it's not a normal card trick. But you've got the fact that you don't really have any... Because also the other thing is, when you do close-up, you don't wear the sort of thing a close-up magician would. You don't wear like a suit with a shirt and a jacket. You wear jeans and a polo shirt. So you have less pocket space than most people anyway. So my question is, would you do this?
Somehow everything in.
I know you do. Would you do this?
No.
No.
I don't think I would. I think it's best for social media, to be honest.
You think it's best for social media?
Yeah, I'm going to give it 79.
79%?
I do think it's good though.
You like it? 79%. I think I am going to do it. I just need to figure out a place to put it. I've got quite deep top pockets, so I think it would probably go in there. I do like the idea of bringing this lottery ticket out, this scratch card. I love the idea of, hey, I'm going to give you £50,000 if I get this wrong. Boom. I just love that. And the fact that you can instantly give it out. I also think it would be really good in the middle of a multiple selection. So what I mean by that is, if you're having like 7 or 8 people picking cards, you make sure one of them is forced to match the lottery ticket. When you get to that person, you go, your card. I've got your card in my pocket. Oh, hang on, that's not your card. That's a scratch card. Watch. Boom. Was your card the King of Clubs? It was. Boom. Great. Let's go on to yours. I think it'd be great in a multiple selection. So I am going to do it. I'm going to give it 90%. I think it's really good. 79% from Ryland. He's not going to do it. 90% from me. I am going to do it. You saw the visual. If you like what you saw, you know what the pros and cons are. Go grab it.
That's another V-show in the back. That's another V-show in the back. That's another V-show in the bag.
It is another review show in the bag. Thank you once again for joining us right here on
Magic TV.
We'll be back again next week with another review show. Now, if you haven't already followed Ryland on social media, please do so. You can go check out his America's Got Talent performance live on YouTube and Facebook. He's on Facebook as Ryland the Kid Magician, YouTube, Instagram as Ryland the Kid Magician. He's not on TikTok because he's too young. Haha. And if you want to follow me, I'm Magic TV. Just follow me on Instagram and YouTube. We'll be back again next week with another review show. I'll be back again tomorrow with another video. I'll be back with the magic stuff tomorrow. And if you haven't already done so, please go check out the Netrix. The URL for the Netrix is
www.thenetrix.cookies.
.com, Ryland.
No, .cookies.
.com.
Cookies.
Cookies isn't even a thing, Ryland.
It is .cookies.
It's not .cookies. You don't know how URL works. You're 10.
No, it's
You're stupid. You're a stupid kid. You're a stupid kid. You're a stupid kid.
No, you're stupid adult.
You're a stupid kid.
Stupid
You're a stupid kid. You're stupid. You're a stupid kid. You don't.
Stupid adult.
We'll be back next week with another Craig and Ryland review show. Say bye, Ryland.
Bye.
See you later.
Glad it didn't brush me off.
Sorry? See you next week.